Hey guys, it's Miss Sims. I just wanted to really quick. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's start again. All right, I wanted to really quickly go through the assignment that I was going to give you for the end of the week. So this will be Thursday through Monday. Okay, so those dates are April 2nd, 3rd, and 6th. Okay. So I wanted to walk you guys through this pretty quickly. This is about the 18th Amendment, which outlaws the drinking and the distribution of alcohol for anyone. So it doesn't matter if you're over 21, it doesn't matter any of that stuff. And just to keep in mind that at this time period, before the 18th Amendment, you were allowed to drink at the age of 18. It was not 21 like it is today, but this 18th Amendment was going to outlaw drinking for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're 118 or 121, you still can't drink. Okay, so we're going to go through this. This is kind of a 3-day thing. This is a little bit harder because it's a primary source, which if you guys remember from class, that means that someone who was alive during this time period wrote these documents. So it's written in the language of someone who is living during this time period, which means they're going to use words and phrases that we're not as familiar with. So that's kind of why I wanted to break it up a little bit over 3 days. Okay. And to keep in mind, you should be spending about 30 minutes a day on my class-ish. Some of you guys work a little faster than others, so you might finish a little more quickly. Some of you guys a little bit slower, so it might take you just a little bit longer, but that's kind of the thought process behind this. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you this. So I'm going to pull up. Here's my document. Okay, so the guiding question for this is, why was the 18th Amendment passed? Okay, so that's what you want to think about kind of the whole time. Just kind of keep that in the back of your head. Okay, so again, I told you the 18th Amendment was just outlawing the drinking and the making of alcohol. So if you see right here, so the context is it'll tell you like what's going on in the world or the United States at that time period. And then these are the 3 parts, section 1, 2, and 3. So it says, after 1 year from the ratification of this article, the manufacture, sale, and transportation, importation, or exportation of intoxicating liquors in the United States and all its territories is hereby prohibited. Okay, so prohibited means that it's outlawed. So basically that's saying like 1 year after this law, the 18th Amendment, is passed, they are no longer going to be able to make, sell, transport, which means to move, bring it into the country, take it out of the country, any kind of alcohol whatsoever. Okay. And it basically says in section 2, Congress and states shall have both the power to enforce this article. Basically, they're saying that they can make other laws that are going to help with the enforcement of this. You'll see some of that later on. And it kind of goes through that. Okay, so on the first day, that is Thursday, I want you to answer the questions for this document. So it's the 18th Amendment itself. It doesn't have a letter. So this one, and then for document A. Okay, so whenever you're looking at the documents, it's a little bit confusing because it says document A, and then it'll have document B, and then it'll have the questions for document A and B. Okay, so on the first day, I just want you to answer the questions for the 18th Amendment document and document A. So that's this chunk right here. Okay, so that's Thursday. On Friday, I want you to do, it's three different documents. So I want you to go back, look at document B, answer the questions for document B. And then you're going to look at document C, which is not necessarily like a written out thing. It's more of a chart poster thing that I want you to look at. And document D, which is also like a poster thing I want you to look at. And the questions for those are together. Okay, so you're going to do document B, C, and D together. That will be done on Friday. Okay, then on Monday, you are going to write a response that it has right here in this box. Okay, this should not be like 1 or 2 sentences. This needs to be a paragraph. You need to think about all the things that you've read on the previous days, and I really want you to think about who supported prohibition, who thought that it would solve problems. What do you think? Okay. So that part is not written in here, but I want you to put, like, what do you think? Do you think it was going to solve problems? Yay or nay? Okay. And I'm going to go back up to document C and D real quick just to kind of do a little quick thing with that. Okay, this is document C. Basically, it's a chart. If you look at it a little bit more closely, you can probably zoom in on your PDF a little bit. I actually may be able to as well. Whoa, look at that, I am. Okay, so it says alcoholism and degeneracy. So if I call someone a degenerate, it's not a nice thing. Basically, I mean, something's wrong with you. Okay, so what this is a chart that says this is 61 children that are from 10 very temperate families. So temperate is going to be a word that means no alcohol whatsoever. So if someone is temperate, that means that they, or they're practicing temperancy, that means that they are not participating in drinking alcohol at all. So it's saying of the 61 children that were born to these families that were not drinking, 5 are going to die in infancy. So that means when they're very, very young. 2 are going to have what's called Saint Virtue disease. 2 are going to be backwards. So that means that they're just like slow. It says not idiotic. So idiotic is kind of the term. We throw that around as a, I don't know, something hateful to say. But that was actually like a medical term that you would use for someone who is having mental problems. 2 are deformed, but they're saying overall 50 of those children are going to be normal. And if you look down here, I think it says 82% are normal, 18% are what they would call defective children. We would not call them that today. That is not nice. Again, primary sources, they don't use the same language that we do. Okay, so I want you to compare that to 57 children of 10 families that are drinking. So you've got 25 that are going to die during infancy, 1 that has Saint Virtue disease, 6 that were idiotic is the term that they're going to use, 5 were deformed, 5 were dwarfs, 5 were epileptic, and 10 were normal. And so what they want you to look at is they want you to look at the defective children was 82.5%. For this group, the families that were drinking, and there were only 17.5, I believe that's what it says, percent right there. Okay, so I want you to kind of compare that and think about that. All right, and again, these documents are going to have vocabulary right here, so if you need to see that. And then document D is also a poster that it just wants you to look at. Okay, so really quickly, in summary, I'll scroll up. Sorry, hopefully this doesn't make you feel sick. 18th Amendment, these questions and the questions that go with document A, you're going to answer that on Thursday. On Friday, you're going to answer the questions that are document B. See, here are questions. Document C and document D, okay? And then on Monday, you're going to finish everything out by answering this question right here in a paragraph. People who supported prohibition, which is just the word that means like banning of alcohol, thought that it would solve a lot of society's problems. Use the documents to explain what problems they saw in society and why they thought prohibition would solve these problems. And then I want you to add in, do you think it will solve those problems? Yes, no, why? Okay. I've got all this typed out, so if you're not listening to Miss Sims kind of mood, then you can read it that way. Okay. All right, guys, hope that was helpful. Again, you are going to submit all of this together. So all of your answers for 18th Amendment, document A, B, C, D, and your paragraph, all of that goes together. You are more than welcome to write that if you would like to, or you can type that into Google Docs. You just need to submit that on Google Classroom. Thank you guys. A lot more people have been submitting things on Google Classroom rather than just through email. I appreciate that. It makes it a lot more likely that I can find it and it doesn't get lost because I'm getting a lot of emails a day, which is fine. If you have a question, I want you to send me an email. I just like to keep my email free from assignment so that I can respond to your questions. Okay? All right. Let me know if you guys have any questions or you need any help. See you guys later. Bye.